Today I will be comparing the three devices to see how fast and smooth they are. I'll be going with my new laptop versus the Chromebook from school versus my Kindle and comparing them. This one I'm testing on my new laptop, the first set of tests. So first off, I'll be starting with a Scratch test to see how fast Scratch website loads. Pretty fast, actually. I'll test how fast it'll load the editor. So it was decently fast, probably about average. Now I'll test YouTube, which I think is a little harder since there's more stuff to load. Not too bad. Not too bad. Try Facebook. Okay, it was fast. Barely even noticed. Now I'll be doing a YouTube video quality test, and this time I'm logged in just so I can avoid ads. Starting with 144p, and I muted the volume so to avoid copyright, although hopefully they don't copyright me for showing this video, but it seems to be working pretty good. Move up to 240p. Still pretty smooth. It's kind of, I think the recording is kind of making it slower as I'm recording. Still pretty good, especially since I'm recording 480p. Still pretty easy. Looks like it might be struggling a little bit, but on 720p. My Kindle sometimes struggles, but I'll do that test later. This is HD, 1080p HD. Starting to stutter a little bit. Do 1440p. Seems to be a little better than it was at 1080p. I don't know why. I wonder what the maximum, if my laptop is, what maximum resolution it is. A 4K. This is an 8K video, so just one more level, and it's flawless. Well, it doesn't seem to be doing that badly. A little bit of stuttering, probably because I'm recording. Maybe if I wasn't recording, it might be better. I doubt 8K will be good, even on on the ultra powerful computers in my college. Even they had trouble. Even they kind of struggled with running 8K videos. Doesn't seem to even be loading the video anymore. I'll be testing it on my Chromebook, which has a different recording feature, so looks like 4K is the maximum that my laptop can do. That can task manager test. The first time I'll do like while idle, although it's kind of skewed with the recording because I'm recording, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it with my Kindle because it's a tablet, not an actual computer. I'm not doing anything right now except for recording. Up to 50%. It's up to 100% CPU pretty easily. I have 16 gigs of RAM on my new laptop. If I move my mouse a bunch, then it goes up to 100% pretty easily. 1.1 gigahertz processor. Although my GPU is staying down. Now I'll open up a few tabs to open up YouTube. You can see because I'm using the built-in Windows 10 thing. Record feature. I have YouTube open on Google Chrome, so now and I'm also recording, and well, it's not not the 100% doesn't seem to be appearing though every time. But when I move my mouse a bunch, then it does. So that's it for my new laptop. Now I'll be going to my Chromebook. Now onto my Chromebook. So I'll start with Scratch. It's harder to make it fair because they disabled the Chromebook is basically the school's property, and they disabled the ability to delete search history. But I'll start with Scratch. I think it's a little slower than my new laptop. The Chromebook only has 4 gigs of RAM. I don't know what the processor speed is. I'll do YouTube. And I'm signed into my school account since that has nothing on it, and since it's a school account, they mark me as, even though I'm over 18, they mark me as under 18. No, I am 18. And I'm not really don't really bother fixing it, telling them to fix it, because it's going to go away soon anyways, in January. Of course, it's probably already gone, and depending on when you watch this video. Now for Facebook. It's a little slower, but pretty good still. Now for the YouTube video quality test. I'll disable sound. Starting at 144p. The 4 gigs of RAM might make it a little harder, but still doing good. Bump it up to 360. Still good. For 480p, it's still good. I think it's running a little better, probably because since the recording is probably less hard on the computer, now it's starting to have some problems at 720p. We'll try 1080p, the lowest HD. Now it's starting to really struggle. Well, at least it's barely playable. It's not really watchable. No, I'm at, it's like 1440p is the maximum that it'll reasonably handle. Now for the task manager test. It's like with 4 gigs of RAM, and I don't know what the CPU is on this. It's like the browser doesn't really use much or anything right now since I'm not using Chrome. It's like, oh, this is different than on Windows. I think this is RAM. I think the memory footprint means RAM, and I think the K is like kilobytes or something. So 196 megabytes or something, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's it. Now I'll try opening up a tab. Because I searched YouTube Kids up once, and I can't delete the search history, so my predictions loads up YouTube pretty slowly though. Now it's being slow with YouTube. It's not loading. It's like moving my mouse doesn't really use up too much CPU. The recording is using up a lot of CPU. Although the RAM seems to be pretty steady. At least it doesn't seem to be struggling right now. So that's it for my Chromebook. Now I'll be going on to my Kindle. Now I'm going to test it on my Kindle. So first I'll go with Scratch. Probably the slowest, but to be expected on 2 gigs of RAM. I'll do YouTube next. Have the app, but to make it fair, I'll do the web version. Then Facebook. It's pretty fast. Probably the fastest. I don't know. Now for the video quality test. Set the thing to 144p. It's already starting to lag. On 144p. No, for 240p. Looks like it only goes up to 1080p. .360 next. Only has 2 gigs of RAM, so not be as powerful. Still running pretty good at 480p. Except for the menus are lagging. 720p is good. 1080p. A little stuttering, but still watchable. So I think it's pretty much past it, since it can't go higher than 1080p. Probably just the device, not the video. There's no native task manager that I know of, but on average it uses up 1.4 gigs the last 3 hours. I haven't used it that much. At least I used the past day. I've used it pretty. I don't know how much. I think it's kind of making it harder though, because I'm using an app instead of to record this instead of since there's no built-in video recorder on this, but I think that's good. Has 2 gigs of RAM. So in conclusion, I think that my new laptop did the best in the test. I think it won most of the tests, except for the task manager, and technically it won storage too, but I'll give this, even though it has more storage than even though my Kindle has less storage than my laptop, I'll still give it my Kindle because since Windows takes up a lot more storage, and needs a lot more storage than a tablet. But a lot of the things, it's decently fast and it's pretty good. So